Everybody, and welcome back to Griffin, Indiana. We are here in midsummer, and we're going to try a new 5S, Massey Ferguson 5S. We're going to demo a new model today. Given the fact that we had such a great canola harvest, I'm really thinking that maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to expand our tractor fleet a little bit. Possibly next year. And I wanted to give this thing a little spin. The opportunity afforded itself because we've got to spray our fields, and our big tractor, you can't fit narrows on our big tractor, and well, we got to get in here. The corn has come up. It's a little bit too tall, I think, for trying to drive on it with big wide tires. So we're gonna give this little 5S a try and see how she does. Now, they told me as equipped, this thing is $105,000. So we didn't quite have the capital to go ahead and buy it outright. And I have to say, now that we don't owe any money to the bank, kind of like not owing any money to the bank. So trying to get financing to buy it now, just to have it now. It wasn't something I really was that interested in doing. I've got money in the bin. That's my money in the bank. I got money in the bin. We just can't spend it yet. We got to hold on to it for a little bit. Yeah, corn came up. Looks great. We're going to check it out today. See how it looks. In fact, we need to put herbicide down on all of our fields today. Hey, it's been raining all day long. Just cleared out a little bit after 5 p.m. So it's got some evening light that we're going to be working with. You see, our corn is coming up quite well. We had a bad spot there in the field. I'm going to have to maybe do a little spot soil sampling and figure out what might be up with that location. Now, before we get too far, this video is brought to you by Scooter's Workbench. Thank you for being a farm baron. I was a little late with Monday's shout out video, but we got her taken care of. Yeah, we need to get in here and spray this field. We didn't have an opportunity to hit it. And the growth is getting a little much, so kind of twofold. We're going to be able to take care of it with our Demo 5S. Get a feel for how the GPS works on this newer platform. And everything. Yeah, the controls are real nice. It's looking pretty good. We can get this with a front loader, which will be somewhat convenient if we're ever going to be able to mow that the big grass field again. Let's raise the boom a little bit. I looked at that this morning. Grass is still listed at 33% growth. Maybe late summer we'll get some grass growth. I don't know. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. working with of this equivalent sprayer. We make quick work of all of our fields for sure. The big question is, are we going to have enough herbicide to do this, or are we going to have to go back and get more? I'm thinking at the spray rate we're doing now, we're going to have to go back and get some more. And I haven't looked. I should have looked before this video, but I didn't look and see if we can expect the equivalent sprayer to make its official return in the base game of FS22 or not. I know we've got the 5S coming. Was it the 8S? We've got the big version of this coming for sure in FS22. We might have some of the smaller variants also, which is cool. This mod popped up in the mod hub a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh, that would be really nice for Griffin, Indiana, if I can figure out a way to maybe include it in the last 3 weeks of gameplay. And well, here it is. We're using it for our spraying tractor, so we can use narrow tires because corn's growth on this field was too tall. We would have damaged the corn with the other tractor. We got a couple bad spots over there we're going to need to check out. I tell you, we didn't lose it because it wasn't wet enough. It rained. It actually started raining yesterday, or should I say a month ago, early summer. It started raining early summer around 3:30 in the afternoon. We weren't quite yet done planting the corn, but we did finish it out. And it had been raining all evening, then overnight, and all day today up until about 5 o'clock. And that is when she stopped. So you can't say that this not coming up was a result of dry conditions. That's for sure. Guess we're gonna have to do a little spot check and figure out maybe we got too much sulfur in the soil. I don't know. Now, so Monday's discussion, we were kind of going off about the bees and everything in FS22. I think today we'll talk a little bit about the fertilizer and what all that might entail. In FS22 we've got like branded fertilizer now, and they're actual products, and those actual products obviously have real chemical makeup. And it'll be interesting to see if they need to be applied in a specific way or during specific periods of growth, or basically, what's up with the different types of named fertilizers, and will it play a big role when precision farming for FS22 comes out in the spring. And the fact that precision farming is coming out in the spring, I think that really tells you a lot about the development cycle of Farm Sim, or probably the development cycle of games in general. We've had precision farming for the better part of a year. I don't remember when it came out, but I think we've had it for the better part of a year, right? And the fact that it's an add-on for FS22, for me, kind of says that precision farming wasn't a thing early enough to force it to be included in the base game of 22. No doubt it'll be in the base game of whatever's next. 25, 24, 26, you know, whatever is next. I have no doubt that it will be in the base game of that. But it does kind of maybe hint to the development cycle of the game, in that something that crops up a year before release of a new game still ends up not being included as a base feature, because probably by that point in time, you know, base features were mapped out and figured out and planned. I mean, that was one of the big reasons given for Seasons not being a part of FS19, is that when Seasons came out in July of 2017, okay, for FS17, which was released in August of, or maybe October of 16, right? So Seasons was a thing 9 months after FS17 was released. A year and a half before FS19 releases. And FS19 was basically feature locked to the point that, you know, Seasons wasn't a thing soon enough for it to find its way onto the feature list. But it's a thing in 22. So just remember that. Just keep that kind of in the back of your head. If something becomes ultra popular in one version of the game, don't really expect it to show up for probably 2 game revisions, because of the development cycles. No doubt as soon as 22 is over, no doubt as soon as FS22 is over, I mean, maybe the guys take a couple weeks off, right? So they take a couple weeks off, celebrate the big release. Some portion of Giants will be thinking through and starting to whiteboard the next farm sim. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. There will be a crew that will be in charge of bug fixes and such like that. There's going to be a crew that's going to be in charge of, you know, securing any additional Year 1 content that needs to be secured, securing Year 2 content. If the planned life cycle is 3 years, securing Year 3 content. There's going to be a crew building out Year 1 content. But there will be a team, no doubt, that will be tasked and charged with planning out the next iteration of the franchise. And that will be starting very, very soon after, I would think, the release of 22. Hell, it might have already started. at the upper levels of planning, those individuals are probably not super active day to day with the actual production and creation of the final product. Someone is probably whiteboarding FS 25, 26, whatever it is. So when your favorite feature that's been out for 6 months doesn't show up in the next farm sim, don't get bent out of shape, because it takes some time to develop this stuff, make sure it all works together. Get bent out of shape if it doesn't show up 2 versions from then. But in all honesty, you probably moved on at that point to something else. So it does indeed look like we are going to have to load up with herbicide. So I'll go ahead and buy another tote of herbicide. See how much of this field we can get taken care of. Pallets, herbicide. You know, given the fact that this will be the last time we apply herbicide in this playthrough, I don't want to have a whole bunch extra. We're getting a nice supply of extra stuff up the farm. As far as seed goes, we did a real good job in estimating our seed usage. We ended up with 2 bags of seed. 1 full bag and a partial bag of seed left. That was excellent. We didn't do such a great job in estimating our fertilizer usage, though. We ended up with 1 full big bag and about 30 liters of a second big bag of fertilizer. So we could have skipped 1 whole bag of fertilizer. We overbought that. You know, we're not going to need that bag of fertilizer. We can't get rid of it. It's ours forever. We've got a lot of canola seed left. We could probably plant another whole canola crop off of the seed that we have. And we have a few other random seeds of barley or soybeans up there. We've got 2 big bags of lime down at the shop that we've never gone and picked up. So we're starting a nice little collection of extra, but it's not too terrible bad. It's not too terrible bad. Now the weather for tomorrow, it was initially clear. Now we have some rain tomorrow. I'm thinking if, upon miracle, if our grass grows, tomorrow might be the opportunity to cut that and wrap it into silage bales. If by some miracle the grass does grow. We might also look and see if we get some nice contracts popping up. You know, it would be nice if a few of these fields that have canola on them, you know, they are ready to harvest. At least they were ready to harvest. It looks like the AI can cheat. They can harvest in a wet crop. They can harvest in the rain. It's unfortunate, because I was really hoping. Do we have any canola that is not harvested yet? 18, it's all harvested, I think. I was really hoping I could take a harvest contract on some canola like that big field 6 and basically be able to, add its extra to my grain silo, but that's not going to happen because the AI farmers seem to be able to harvest canola in the rain. They can definitely harvest crop in a wet crop condition. That'll be interesting. What kind of limitations do we have in the seasonal cycles of FS22? We've seen glimpses of the plant and harvest schedules. They're going to be interesting, I think. They're going to be interesting because a few of the glimpses I saw seem to indicate that you couldn't plant some of your cereal crops in the spring. So if every game save you start in March, which is early spring, if you can't pick when you start your save game, then it means you're not going to be able to get straw, potentially, for one full game year. Because you can't plant it in the spring. There were a few cereals that you couldn't plant in the spring. So that'll be interesting. Do like the fill gauges. Super awesome. So it'll be interesting how that all works out. If you have the modularity of being able to add a geo, for the lack of knowing how they're going to use that terminology, or if geos will be baked into the map and the map's geo is what you get. I think that'll be probably a big downer for people if you are limited and you can't swap it out. But we don't know. There's so many of these little we don't knows. But I'm super looking forward to being able to get my hands on it. Being able, everyone being able to get their hands on it. And learning what are these things that we don't know yet. Because, as I've said, I think there are a lot of things that have not been revealed that we are going to be learning about by the seat of our pants. I think I've rambled on long enough today. All we're going to do is continue spraying our fields. We've got the rest of this one to hit, and then we've got our big field up by the farm, and then that will be all of our spraying for our life on Griffin, Indiana. This is, of course, year 4 of our 3-day seasons playthrough. Hope you all have enjoyed it so far. I have enjoyed the playthrough. It has made me rethink and kind of do things a little bit different than I would normally do with a longer season. So it's been a good experience. So until next time, happy farming.